heart of the warm savannah, where drums spoke louder than words and stories were carried on the wind, there lived a young girl named Amara. Amara grew up in the beautiful village of Oluwani, a place filled with bright markets, tall trees, and the smell of roasting maize. She was the only child of Chief Adekunle, the respected leader of the village, and his wife, Mama Yejide, the village teacher whose wisdom was praised by everyone. Amara was a treasure in their home. Her father loved her more than he loved his own title. Her mother praised her every day. People admired her beauty, her kindness, her confidence, and her gentle way of speaking. Other mothers wished their daughters could walk with the same grace. Other fathers prayed their sons would marry someone like her one day. But hiding under all this love was a secret that only one person knew. Mama Yejide had carried it in her heart for many years, hoping it would never rise like the sun. When Chief Adekunle received the chance to migrate to another land far across the waters, he rejoiced. He said he would take his wife and daughter with him so they could all have a better life. The entire village celebrated. People danced, drummers played until their hands burned, and children ran around shouting Amara's name with joy. To complete the travel process, the family was asked to do simple health checks. It was supposed to be a normal day, but that day changed everything. When the results came back, Chief Adekunle looked at the paper once, then twice, then a third time. His hands shook, his eyes grew dark. The truth he had never imagined was staring straight at him. Amara was not his biological child. The chief felt betrayed. Mama Yejide cried, begging him to listen, trying to explain that Amara was born at a time of weakness and confusion, before her marriage truly began, but the chief refused to hear anything. The story swept through the village like a wildfire. People whispered behind their hands. Elders gathered in silence, then in anger. The king of the neighboring village was called. They said a child born outside the chief's bloodline could not remain in the royal household. They said traditions must be kept. The final decision was heavy and heartless. Amara would be removed from the village. Her mother cried until her voice broke. Her father looked away, too ashamed and too angry to defend the girl he had raised with devotion. Amara stood there with tears rolling down her cheeks, unable to understand how love could turn into rejection so quickly. But before the elders could carry out their decision, Amara gathered the little courage she had. She packed a small cloth bag, slipped out in the dark, and ran. She ran past the fields, past the river, past everything she had known, her feet bleeding, her heart burning with fear. At sunrise, she reached a dusty road where a humble farmer drove a truck filled with yams, cassava, and vegetables. His name was Baba Kola. When he saw Amara, tired and shaking, he asked her where she was going. She could not answer. Her voice was gone. He nodded kindly and told her to climb into the back of the truck. He was heading to the big city, far away from the judgment of any village. The journey was long. When they reached the city, Baba Kola gave Amara a small piece of bread and wished her well, for he had to return to his farm. Amara thanked him with a shaky smile and stepped into a world she had never seen before. The city was loud. The air smelled of smoke and dust. The people walked fast, their eyes cold, their hearts too busy to care about a lost girl. Amara slept outside, under cold rain, on hard concrete. Hunger followed her like a shadow. Her fine clothes became dirty. Her soft skin grew rough. People who once bowed to her now turned their heads away. When she begged for food in the busy market, people frowned because she smelled of rain and the streets. She cried at night, wishing her mother could hold her again. One night, while the rain fell like angry tears from the sky, she saw a small container near a shop door. Inside was a piece of cheese, and she reached for it with desperate hunger. But as soon as her fingers touched it, a sharp snap closed on her hand. It was a rat trap. Amara cried out in pain. The shop door burst open. An older woman stepped out holding a broom, expecting to chase away a rat. Instead, she saw Amara, thin, soaked, shaking. The woman's anger melted. She hurried to free Amara's hand and pulled her inside. Her name was Madame Osanaya, a wealthy businesswoman known in the city market. Her home was large and quiet. Her heart was full but lonely. A year before, she had lost her only daughter, a beautiful girl who, by fate's strange design, looked almost exactly like Amara. When she washed Amara's face clean, she gasped. It felt as though her daughter had returned. Madame Osanaya wrapped her in warm clothes, fed her soft yam porridge, and laid her on a clean bed. For the first time in months, Amara slept without fear. The next morning, Amara offered to sweep the floors. She offered to help in the kitchen. She offered to wash clothes. Madame Osanaya agreed, but only so that the girl would feel useful. In truth, she already planned to take care of her. Days turned into months. Amara became part of the woman's household. Madame Osanaya registered her in school again. Amara studied hard, remembering the village teacher who once praised her every morning. She passed every exam. Then she entered nursing school, determined to use her pain to help others. She worked harder than anyone. She graduated with honors. Years later, she became a respected nursing professor, known for her gentle heart and powerful story. She got married, had 2 children, and even adopted a little girl who reminded her of herself when she was lost and alone. One day, she heard that her father and mother were old, weak, and no longer able to care for themselves. At first, she hesitated. The wounds in her heart still ached. But the little girl in her adult heart still loved her parents. She traveled back to Oluwani. When she walked through the village, people stared. Her clothes were elegant. Her smile was calm. Her steps were confident. The children whispered that a queen had arrived. The elders gathered, confused by her face that seemed familiar but grown. When her parents were told who the visitor was, tears filled their eyes. Chief Adekunle rose slowly from his bed, trembling. Mama Yejide wept openly, her hands covering her mouth. They said they were sorry. They said they were wrong. They said fear and shame had clouded their hearts. Amara held no anger. She introduced them to her husband, her children, and her adopted daughter. The village watched in awe as peace settled like soft rain on dry land. The same elders who once wanted her gone now bowed their heads in respect. Amara proved that a person's worth is not decided by blood or birth, but by courage, kindness, and the strength to rise again. And so, the girl who was chased away became the woman who healed. The girl who had no place became the woman who made a home. The child who was rejected returned with love bigger than the rivers of the land. Her story lived on across generations, teaching everyone that the heart can break and still grow back stronger, and that destiny cannot be stopped by those who lack love.